catastrophe-proof buildings will become ashes. I have seen the most costly structures in buildings erected and supposed to be fireproof. And just as Sodom perished in the flames of God's vengeance, so will these proud structures become ashes. The flattering monuments of men's greatness will be crumbled in the dust even before the last great destruction comes upon the world. Selected Messages, Book 3, page 418.
We're trying to save our pets, and
we can't get into
our house.
I was getting more and more frantic as, the lights were getting darker and the sky was getting more red.
God is withdrawing his spirit from the wicked cities, which have become as the cities of the antediluvian world and of Sodom and Gomorrah. Costly mansions, marvels of architectural skill, will be destroyed without a moment's notice when the Lord sees that the owners have passed the boundaries of forgiveness. The destruction by fire of the stately buildings, supposed to be fireproof, is an illustration of how in a short time Earth's architecture will lie in ruins. This Day with God, page 152.
April and May, a severe tornado outbreak in the Central Plains spins up over 500 twisters, killing 13 people and flattening towns from Texas to Iowa. Extreme weather events just keep coming. More, bigger, more often. And the question at the top of everyone's mind, are these the real impacts of a warming planet?
This is more than an extreme weather story. This is a story about our food and our water systems. This is a story about our health, our economy, our buildings, our roads. This is a story about our sports, our tourism, our ways of life. And climate change is not this thing that's going to happen in the future and we need to just prepare for. It is happening right here and right now in communities across the country.
Ukraine has unleashed what may be its biggest missile and drone blitz, hitting dozens of targets up to 1,000 kilometers inside Russia. Russia has replied, and Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk has accused Moscow of a campaign of air terror sabotage.
We are not doing the will of God if we sit in quietude, doing nothing to preserve liberty of conscience. Fervent, effectual prayer should be ascending to heaven that this calamity may be deferred until we can accomplish the work which has so long been neglected. Let us therefore be most earnest in prayer, and let us work in harmony with our prayers. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 5, page 74.
The Bible certainly is one of, if not, it is the book.
Let's pray together, may we? Yes.
I believe in God. I am Christian.
I'm a Protestant. I'm very proud of it. Presbyterian, to be exact.
I'm Presbyterian. Boy, that's down the middle of the road, folks, in all fairness. Seventh-day Adventist, I don't know about.
I have great relationship with God. I have great relationship with the evangelicals. And I go to church a lot. Always on Christmas, always on Easter, always when there's a major occasion. And during the Sundays, I'm a Sunday church person. I like to do the right thing where I don't have to actually ask for forgiveness. When we go in church and when I drink my little wine, which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker, I guess that's a form of asking for forgiveness. And I do that as often as possible because I feel clean.
The Sabbath, the great point at issue. In the warfare to be waged in the last days, there will be united, in opposition to God's people, all the corrupt powers that have apostatized from allegiance to the law of Jehovah. In this warfare, the Sabbath of the fourth commandment will be the great point at issue. For in the Sabbath commandment, the great lawgiver identifies himself as the creator of the heavens and the earth. Selected Messages, Book 3, page 3.
My second favorite book of all time. What's my first favorite book? The Bible!
The Sunday movement is now making its way in darkness. The leaders are concealing the true issue, and many who unite in the movement do not themselves see whether the undercurrent is standing. They are working in blindness. They do not see that if a Protestant government sacrifices the principles that have made them a free, independent nation, and through legislation brings into the Constitution principles that will propagate papal falsehood and papal delusion, they are plunging into the Roman horrors of the Dark Ages. The Review and Herald, Extra, December 11, 1888.
All right, so we're in 2025, and here's something wild. You can actually buy an AI robot girlfriend right now, like seriously. And before you ask, no, I haven't heard of any AI robot boyfriends just yet. But come on, it's only a matter of time before someone slaps a wig and a deep voice module on one of these things and starts selling it. So we're at that point where robots aren't just rolling around doing chores. They're actually trying to become your new best friend, your private therapist, your brand ambassador, or even a potential romantic partner. Crazy, right? Well, let me introduce you to Aria, an AI-powered humanoid robot from a company called Realbotics. They showed it off at CES 2025 in Las Vegas, and it's been stirring up a whirlwind of excitement, confusion, and honestly, more than a bit of creepy.
The spiritual darkness that covers the whole world is intensified in the crowded centers of population. It is in the city of the nation that the gospel worker find the greatest impenitence and the greatest need. And in these same cities are presented the soul winners some of the greatest opportunities. Mingled with the multitudes who have no thought of God and heaven are many who long for light and for purity of heart. Even among the careless and indifferent, there are not a few whose attention may be arrested by a revelation of God's love for the human soul. The Review and Herald, November 17, 1910.
All right, Samara, let's give you the latest here on the fires and where we stand this morning. We'll start with the Palisades fire. More than 23,000 acres have burned. Containment is now at 56%. Nearly 6,000 structures have been destroyed. Over 700 have been damaged. And 10 people are confirmed dead. As for the Eaton fire, more than 14,000 acres have burned. Containment now at 81%. More than 9,000 structures have been destroyed. More than 1,000 have been damaged, and 17 are confirmed dead.
Crime before the flood. Mrs. White, in describing the deplorable conditions which led to the catastrophic destruction of the world, speaks of the amalgamation of man and beast. But if there was one sin above another, which called for the destruction of the race by flood, it was the base crime of amalgamation of man and beast, which defaced the image of God and caused confusion everywhere. God purposed to destroy by a flood that powerful long-lived race that had corrupted their ways before him. Spiritual Gifts, Volume 3, page 64. The day is coming when every Seventh-day Adventist in the United States of America would give everything that he has and his life almost if he could be outside the United States. Let me say it again. I am speaking something now that interests every Seventh-day Adventist. The day is coming, and not far off, when every Seventh-day Adventist will wish to the depth of his or her soul that he were out of the United States. God sets this country of the United States as the light to the world with the principles of God for all mankind, all nations particularly. Since these principles have been the place of refuge for all people to come hitherto, the place of the land of liberty and light, and blessing to mankind, the effect will be directly contrary hereafter, and the message of God is now to all nations. Enter not into the United States, and those that are in it, get out. Sermon by A.T. Jones.
Who got shouted out the most? Let's look at the numbers. All right, cast and crew are leading the way with 11 mentions. Moms are holding strong with 3 shout-outs. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. And Mario Lopez, host of Access Hollywood, 1. All right. No surprise in this godless town.
3 inches of snow is manageable, but after the snow, this.
These temperatures are really going to plummet.
It's impossible to drive right now. The roads are full of ice.
Authorities told us that they responded to more than 200 accidents this afternoon.
Some drivers slept in their cars. Others just ran out of gas, while many abandoned their cars and walked.
God's message for the inhabitants of earth today is, be ye also ready. For in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. The conditions prevailing in society, and especially in the great cities of the nation, proclaim in thundertones that the hour of God's judgment is come, and that the end of all things is at hand. We are standing on the threshold of the crisis of the ages. In quick succession, the judgment of God will follow one another. Fire, flood, earthquake, with war and bloodshed. We are not to be surprised at this time by the events both great and decisive, for the angel of mercy cannot remain much longer to shelter the impenitent. Prophets and Kings, page 278.
We are leaving, we are doing.